right, so we're going to be talking in lifestyle this morning about self-identity. Who are you? What determines who you are? Is it your upbringing? Is it your environment? And all those things that encapsulate who we become as human beings in life. And joining me is none other than one of our psychologists who is, I'll call her pretty resident when it comes to New Day, Dr. Anne Gazy, and she is joining me. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Emma. How are you?
Very well.
I miss you so much. You dumped me.
We can't dump you. You have to be coming more and more, in fact. But before we start on self-identity, what do you feel about the strikes happening today?
Obviously, people are crying. People are crying out there. Honestly, I'm not the political one, and on my social whatever. I see all sorts going on, and I don't contribute and all that. But I think it's interesting you should say that, because was it yesterday or so? I had a client, and he was just sitting right in front of me, and then the phone went, because normally when you have counseling, you have to put your phone off or on silent or whatever. And I had this click, and it was 3 times, and every time I could see that as soon as he had that click, he would just jump, and he was just like confused, and he wouldn't like continue with. He just gets lost in the middle of the talk or what he's saying. So I just said, why? What's going on? It says, oh, Doc, do you know what? Every click, it wasn't yesterday, a few days back, it says every click means that the dollar is actually going up. And I said, what are you doing to yourself? So he's kind of programmed, this modern tech stuff. So he's kind of programmed his phone. So whenever the dollar says, that's my business going down. Every time I hear that, so it's like it's really coming to my doorstep, no matter how much I try to say, all right, then get on with it and stuff. So yeah, people are really crying for change. And I don't know because demonstration doesn't mean that people are going to riot or going to fight. It's just to say that we have a voice. Listen to us. Something is just not right, and we bring it to your attention. Do something. And when everybody comes together, then that means that it's actually an issue. Because if one person should say it, it doesn't really kind of matter. But when you've got the whole nation or the majority crying, that means that we need to do something about it. So I think it's kind of positive, but I'm sure it's going to be peaceful. So peaceful demonstration happens all over the world, every country. So, almost every country. So it should be positive.
All right. Well, we hope for a peaceful.
Are you going there?
Demonstration? No, I'm working. I'm working. But again,
you're supporting them in your own way.
It is. Is it in the Constitution for So they're doing what is constitutionally right. So as long as it's peaceful,
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
All right. So let's jump on with our lifestyle. So self-identity. Okay, you're the professional. I think, a lot of times people go, I believe in this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Right. But before you start saying that I'm loving or I'm strong or I'm bold and I believe in this, I believe in that, what are the things that even forms within you that gets you to know what your self-identity is?
I think you said something. I think that you actually answered the question yourself when you started by saying, who am I?
Okay.
And it's interesting. I wish that I had brought, if I knew you were going to say that, I would have brought. I've actually got a particular form in my consulting room where when people come in and they've got, issues and all that going on, I said, complete this for me. And it's amazing because you think that is when you're in the basic school, you do your compositions and your essays and blah, blah, blah. And it's nothing. And he keeps and said, Doc, did you really say? I say yes. And all that I've got on, very bold, maybe about 60-something font, is who am I? And people just struggle. Yes, exactly. Because you see, there are loads and loads of things going on in our lives that we don't realize that it's about self. You said self-identity. It's about self-assessment. Who am I? What do I stand for? Where do I belong? And because of that, people are lost in different countries. We've got people who don't know who they are. With all due respect, people have gone into what do you call it? People who are gay and all that because they don't even know who they are. Identity issues, racism, identity issues, marital issues, domestic violence, and all of that. Most of that stems from they don't even know who they are in the first place. So they feel that maybe, when I get married, I'm going to be happy. If only I can get the best job, I'm going to be happy. You wait till I buy my first car. You wait till I meet that lady or that man, and you see a different side to me. Why not do it now? So who are you? It's about assessing yourself in terms of how you see yourself, where you want to go, where you've been. So we're talking about the past, the present, and the future. So I have another form. The past, who were you before?
Okay. All right. One of the things about me, when somebody asks me,
Yeah.
okay, describe yourself, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Because I feel like I never know what to say. And I'm always like, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
I like talking. Like, I always say something. Because I feel like I don't like being put on the spot.
Right.
However, yes, there's some very basic things, but one of the things I and I'm bubbly. I like being happy. I'm very genuinely exude a lot of positive energy. I've been told my temperament is a sanguine, and so forth. However, what are some of the things that shape us? Is it our society? Is it our parents? Is it our school? That gets us to the point of where we can confidently say that I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Because you said a lot of people are confused. But what are some of the things that need to take place in a positive way before you can self-righteously say that these are my values, this is what I believe in, without faltering? Because sometimes I know some people falter and change.
Yeah. I'll just say it's everything you've said. The first bit is the home, because that's where you're brought up, or that's where you've got your parents and that. And as a child, you see your parents as role models, and then you go to school as well. So the home, the school, and obviously with our culture, maybe the church or your religion also plays a very important part. If the home is dysfunctional, or how you were brought up also defines who you're going to be. At some point, we just get the the learned behavior, the learned culture. That is, if you move out or you go to boarding facilities and institutions and that, you say, oh, actually I don't like this and I wish I'm this, and you learn certain behaviors and that. But it actually starts from home. So maybe, okay, mom does this job, oh, that's really pretty, or auntie has got this job, I love to be like this, I always like the way my auntie sits like a lady, she's this and that. So you start, or maybe you have somebody, I'm sure there are people who just like, oh, I love Amma, I wish I was Amma, I wish I was this, so they like to dress like you and all that. So it's those are learned behaviors. But then we have the one that you're talking about right from home, where what goes on at home, like, oh, the use of cutlery, the use of this, or certain professions, like, oh, when you mention this family name, this goes with them. They are like this, they practice. Okay, let me just take it this way. Let's say TV3. Let's talk about identity. Let's just personify TV3 as TV3 is a person. So we'll say, what's the identity of TV3? What would you say? The first thing you say is actually TV3. That means it's a TV station, right? Okay, so we talk about media. We talk about broadcasting. We talk about employment, because they employ people, recruiting, salaries. So all of that comes HR and all of that, So what makes you you? That's your identity. And where does it begin? From home, from where parents or guardian or whoever brought you up. And then the nurturing comes into it. And then your environment also affects you. So, okay, I really don't like the slum that I live in now, so I'm going to change that. That can affect how you think and how you behave and who you want to be or who you'd like to be. Or actually, do you know what, I like this gang life so much because it's like I can get a lot out of it. So that can also play a factor. So all this comes together, but we do it from home. So if parents are able to nurture the child in the way that they want to be, you get to a point where you would decide, actually this is the career I want, or this is where I want to be, I just want to be in the limelight. Then you can, that's what they said, we are even identical twins sometimes have their own whatever, because you can be in the same home and you would decide, I want to be a broadcaster, and she would just actually,
or like your siblings, you all grow up together.
I don't want anything to do with that at all. I just want to be in a little office somewhere, nobody sees me, but I earn my income, and I'm just a mommy and a wife, and that's it. So
okay, before we kind of wrap up on this subject, how would you advise people to self-analyze? So in terms of for them to know, what is there any little trick you can teach everyone that you go home this evening, do a test so you can at least write down your basic things of who you are, just so you have a better idea?
What I'll say is that I'll go back to what you said again about who am I. It's very important. So pick a paper, any paper, it doesn't have to be a psychologist form or anything, and just put who am I. And then when you put down, just find out exactly, okay, I'm a girl, I'm a boy, I'm this, I do that. Where am I going in life? Or where was I before, and where do I want to go? And then you'll be able, like you said, I'm bubbly, I'm this, and then you'll be able to determine whether are these things I like and this. And then once you've got who am I, then you do advantages and disadvantages, or likes and dislikes. What do you really like about what you've put down, this person as you, this who am I, and what do you really not like, or what would you like to change? So you look at the advantages, or the good side, or what you like and what is not so good. I won't say it's bad, but what is not so good.
It's
not so good. So you have a third column of what you can change. So when you do that third column, and then in the what you can change, and what people can help you to change. So maybe I'm in a career, I don't like it. I'm in a relationship, it's not going well. Maybe I'm not happy, I'm waiting for. It's about looking at yourself and creating that happiness and not waiting for other people to make you you. But when you find yourself, let me just say this. There are lots of young women around who are just saying, well, when I get married, I'll be happy and all of those kind of things. And what I say to them is that, do you know the funny thing is that what is in you? What's the substance in you that somebody would see and find it very attractive? So this who am I would actually determine. Don't be sitting in a corner waiting for that. Or also they go to an interview and then they say that, oh, they didn't give me the job and all of that. What are you taking into that? Exactly. That is different. So go in and giving something that you bring in there, because they've got thousands of people working for them. Why should they employ you? Because when I come, I'm going to do something different. So just be different, just be unique, but just be you.
All right, very well said there. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Anne Gazy. She's a psychologist and she's been telling us a little bit about self-identity. Alright, we have a little video for you right now coming up, and make sure you do not change the channel because New Day has more coming up.
Do you ever find yourself asking, who am I? What do I believe in? What is my purpose and existence in this world? Defining our own personal identity can take a lifetime, and to further complicate matters, our identity can shift and change throughout various periods, whether or not we consciously undertake a process of personal development. So, what do we mean by self-identity?